up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mad Livin. Here, I'm out here on the Yakima River, Washington State. I just said river. Got out here early. It was about a 2.5 hour drive. It's beautiful. This river runs through the Yakima Canyon. So I'm gonna do a little bit of fishing, and then I gotta go hit this fly shop to pick up what's called a dirty dozen set of flies and get some tips from them, and then get back out on the water. So hoping to catch some big fish today, or any fish. So stay tuned, let's do it. All right, I just pulled over alongside of the road, saw a cool little spot. So what I think is a cool little spot, and throw my line in the water, see what happens. Well, I have to say, it's been a frustrating morning. Today is just not my day. I've been getting tangled, can't find good places to fish. All the spots that I enter the water, I don't have access to go upstream, and I don't want to go downstream because I'm just stirring everything up and letting them know that I'm coming. So that's just kind of how the morning's been going. So I'm kind of just casting a little bit better upstream, even though my fly line is landing ahead of it. Trying to get out into that more of the seam. I'm thinking the seam is pushed out a little bit further that way, or I'm standing directly in it. Either way, not doing very good. Only thing I'm doing good with is casting a little bit, I guess. It's getting a little too deep too to wade out there. It's pretty swift. So since I'm alone and nobody's around, I should probably tread lightly. I don't feel like dying today. Well, the Yakima River today was an absolute bust. I think it was actually one of the most frustrating days that I've had. It is just one of those days. I was getting snagged on everything. I was getting tangled up all the time. It seemed like everywhere I tried to access the river, it was super limited, so I could only get so far. And no matter what, it seemed like I wanted to be on the opposite side of the river than I was. But still pretty swift and pretty deep, so I couldn't get through. But still, what a beautiful day. Beautiful area out here through the canyon. It gets a little bit windy from time to time, but so worth it. So I'm about wrapping it up. I think I'm gonna hit one more spot, but came back to get my trash out of here. I'm gonna turn around. That's my Jeep. I'm gonna turn around and head back in the direction that I need to go to head home. And there's one other little spot that I'm gonna hit, and then I'm calling it. So it was a bust, but it was fun. Got about 13 new flies today. So that's exciting. You can obviously see These ones over here, they're a lot bushier and bigger, furry. They actually really have some nice patterns. I'm not going to pull them all out right now because it could take a while to explain them all. And I can't even remember the names. I know there's a couple. One of them's like a sculpin streamer. Then there's a mini loop sculpin. And then one of them's actually called Sculpzilla, which is kind of cool. And then a couple of these two right here, these two black ones right here, I think are called Rainey's Hibernators. But they're called streamers. I don't know if I mentioned that. So they're all wet flies, so they are going to sink. And I think the package that I got of these 13 are mainly focused for trout fishing. I got two more of these olive green wally buggers, pretty popular fly. I actually had one of them and I lost it, so it was kind of cool. I got two more. And then this right here, this is the October caddis, and this is a dry fly. So I actually set up what's called a dry dropper today, which was kind of cool. I mean, my fly fishing today was absolutely horrible. I was fumbling with everything. So I'm going to leave this setup on and try it around here. So I got the dry fly on first, and then I added what's called a tippet, basically an extension to your line. And the length is determined based on water depth usually, because what I have on there is, excuse my dirty floor, is a nymph, and it's just a little small guy. So you want that one to sink. So depending on the water depth, you know, obviously in the current, right, as the current is moving, or your line is moving with the current, you need it longer, because if it's not longer, then this thing will, as it's floating down the river, it'll keep it, you know, higher than where you want it to be, basically. I don't know if that was a good explanation, but I want a longer one because this one will sink and go deeper. Can't even find it. That one will go deeper, or to the depth that I want. They typically say if you can feel it kind of bouncing off the bottom, you know, if it's like hitting rocks, then you're doing good. If you're snagging and losing flies, they said you're deep enough. So anyhow, that was a quick overhaul of those. I'm excited to use them. Hopefully one of these days I'll catch some fish. Chest waders, Foxelli outdoor gear chest waders. It's a good chest wader. I mean, if you're using it for like duck hunting or some other sport, or if you're fly fishing and you're just not very active, then these are good. I mean, everything about them was working good. But what I don't like is the boots. It's all one piece, right? But these boots, when I got out into the river today, I mean, the rocks and the moss and everything was just super slick. So there's no traction whatsoever. And they're just not that comfortable. There's really no sole or anything like that. So I'm eventually going to be doing some hiking. I'm going to be hiking up, you know, to find streams, you know, just hiking in the river I was in today, and walking across it and walking upstream and downstream and all kinds of boulders and stuff. It just wasn't comfortable at all. So I'm going to return these and get a different set. So I just wanted to pass that on. So if it's something you're thinking about getting.